Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Apurv Malik, and I will be the host of today's webinar on behalf of TNV Academy. It's time for me to introduce to all of you our guest speaker of the day. For today's webinar, we are glad to have Mr. Ajay Bajpai with us as the guest speaker. The topic with which he is here today with all of us is ISO 13485 Medical Devices Quality Management System Objectives and Planning to Achieve them. Our distinguished speaker, Mr. Ajay Bajpai, has done his bachelor's in engineering in metallurgy stream. He is also a lead auditor in ISO 9001, 14001, 45001, 37001, 22000, 27001, 13485, 22301, and 50001 standards, respectively. He has an industrial experience of around 15 plus years in field of implementation of management system standards and around 25 plus years in field of auditing and training. He has been imparting training through the medium of webinars, seminars, live sessions, and online and offline mode to a number of organizations, entrepreneurs, and individuals on various topics related to ISO terminologies and how ISO standards are implemented within organizations. This was just a brief introduction of our guest speaker today. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Ajay Bajpai. I may request Mr. Ajay Bajpai now to please take over and start the webinar.
Good morning, Apur and team of TNV Academy and other participants who have joined the webinar on objective targets and planning to achieve them with respect to medical devices quality management system standard. Last webinar, we have discussed the MDQMS policy. See, the policy in this particular standard is directly saying the quality management system policy. That is the QMS policy or quality policy. But since the standard is medical devices, the policy is also formulated on the basis of medical devices, their requirements, those processes, those items which are going into our body, those items which are used as chemicals in foods, those equipment which are used to test the various parameters with respect to medical devices performance and activity. So the policy is formulated like that, and how the policy will be implemented will be through the quality objectives. Quality objectives again with respect to the medical devices which are IV cannula, blood bags, chemical reagents, testing devices, in vitro devices which are going into our body, knee transplantation, heart wall transplantation, and so on, shoulder transplantation. There are several items which are going into the body today. So they all are covered under medical devices. So the policy which has been formulated as per the requirement needs to show that yes, we will be meeting the requirement, but those requirements, the policy as decided and documented, which has come as the vision, mission, and the direction of the top management are implemented through quality objectives. They again are directed by top management. So before formulation, the team sit down, they will have different kinds of meetings, they will have brainstorming, they will have discussions, and then they will decide what are those objectives which will be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, target oriented, and they need to be tracked to see that yes, they are quantified, the directions are clear, and they are moving in a direction so that the quality policy can be achieved by setting the targets and goals. So this measurement is very, very important. We go to audit many organizations where we see that the policy documented, the objectives are documented, but when we ask them the questions, they are not able to give a satisfactory answer with respect to For example, when it will be done, who will be doing it, how the records will be maintained, how the tracking will be done, how the management will be reviewing it now and then onwards, 6 monthly, 1 monthly, to the recertification and recertification cycles. So they had to go hand in hand with the quality policy. So that is one of the requirements. So now we go further. What are the further movement into the management system planning? So the top management needs to address, you see, sometimes we spend a lot of unwanted energy into documentation of several objectives, several responsibilities, but that does not meet the requirement. So we always say prioritize. When we do the gap analysis, we come out with hundreds of plans. Hundreds of actions may be required to be done by the team of the organization. But which actions are to be taken care first? What are the first five? What are the next five? And once these first five and second five are done, let's go and look at next 10 to 15, 15 to 20, and so on. And also keep on tracking the first five and first 10. Because if you do not keep a track, those objectives lose direction and they can die. So top management, while planning the objectives, should take care of what? They should be in line with the requirement of the customers, internal customers, final customers, what is the context of the organization, how are the, you see, in case of medical devices, we need to have dealer distributors also addressed. We have different class 1, class B, class C devices. We have got various categories, in class 1 we'll have A, B, C categories into that. What category they fall in. So we need to see that we can take care of them with respect to, as given in clause 4.1, with respect to the organization quality objective. Also, we have to see that the integrity of the quality management is very well kept maintained because a lot of changes are taking place. Quality are changing, quality parameters are changing, medical devices categories are changing, customers requirements are changing. So the integrity should be maintained to that extent, yes, that we can move in with the changes and we can adopt the changes and accordingly we can modify our data collection process. Accordingly, we can track the data. And also then we have to see that management systems are planned and implemented. We have to have the proper planning done when we are going for the documentation of the quality objectives for every QMS. So we have to see that yes, we are going on for implementation as planned, weekly review, monthly review, 6 monthly review, data calculations, revision, and so on goes. Then we go further. What are the desired results? What are we looking for when we plan to do this activity? So first activity, as we discussed in the beginning, is the training of the team. The team needs to be trained thoroughly as per the targets. Whatever are the targets of MDQMS, what are the targets of the policy, whatever are the targets of the smart objectives. So the team is trained. Team does not say mean only the internal team of the organization. It also involves the interested parties, even the security team, even the transporters, even the suppliers, subcontractors, the Central Regulatory Board. They may not be trained, but they need to be communicated regarding our plan of going for 13485 by documenting policy and then converting them into objectives, and then see that yes, they understand the requirements. Also, it gives assurance that 13485 management system can achieve its intended results. And also the global requirement, the customer requirement, the SDG Sustainable Development Goals requirement of the global community are met with. We are having a heart transplantation, we are having a body transplantation part, we are having different set of operating situations, so they need to be taken care of so that what we are exporting, what we are importing, like today we were listening to the news and we saw that our imports have gone 30% high or 20% high or 40% high. So what happened then? Then we need to reach a situation that we are moving on further and then these requirements can be taken care so that the customers are happy. What was they wanted to be transplanted in heart, it is coming through a smart, correct ambiguous objective. How to dispose of, how the marketing partner in case of export situation is understanding the customer's requirement. They are translated to their language, they are translated to their country transportation system and implantation system. Their medical requirements are mixed with. So the global requirement is met with. One operation has to take place in USA or in India or Hong Kong or Singapore, and multiple parts are being transported from other countries like Russia, USA, Singapore, Turkey. So how do they reach all these places in time so that the operating conditions, the implant can be put in place and the customer requirements are met. The objectives and in line with the policy should be auditable and question answer clarity should be there. Sometimes we have seen internal audit and second party and third party audits that questions are asked, but they are not understood by the auditing because the language of objective is such that it is not easily understood. It may not be the language which they work with. The English language may not be workable, operational into the workshop where medical device is being manufactured. Operator do not understand that. So what is the point of asking them a question of which cannot be tracked with the support of a smart operator? Operator is smart, but unfortunately our language is not smart of the objective, it is not meaningful, it is not logical. Sometimes it says we'll make 80% improvement in 1 week. Is it logical? No, it is illogical. We'll say we'll improve upon the transport system of medical devices with the support of a beautiful sterilization system within 24 hours. It did not happen. It did not happen. Languages are not meaningful. We talk of sterilization and non-sterilization with support of policy, and we go to the stores and from stores we will reach into questioning from production running a PPM counting. So these things we have seen in the organization while drafting, they are not having logical flow. So the results are not good. Then also there should be the needs of the interested parties. We have got many number of interested parties starting from suppliers, subcontractors to the customers, final customers, the doctors, the hospitals. We have to meet needs. What are the temperature condition? What are the movement condition? What is the freezing condition? What is the storage condition? What are the humidity, temperature control of a interested party? They should be met with that. Also, the objectives along with the policy must meet the mission, vision and direction of the top management. Top management has a thought They have a mission that yes, in next 5 years we will become leader in Istanbul in a product which is a blood bag. So how our objectives should support that? A company manufacturing highly cellulose in Bursa in Turkey. Sorry. Wants to have become team leader in 10 years in exports. So our objective is to support that. If the support can be provided by smart objective, then the vision and action of top management is met with. They want to improve on the efficiency of the storage of the medical devices components. So the stores team will support objective of stores team and the incoming inspection together will support this vision and mission of top management. Once we understand that is our result, then what do we do? We get into the planning. Planning means the drafting of the objectives. Any good documentation already available somewhere across the world, across the borders, may not be suitable for my company manufacturing in Dhaka or Islamabad or UAE. So we can take the guidance from the existing document, but ultimate drafting should be with respect to our organization culture, my organization's manufacturing plans, my capability of teams, my capability of machines, my capability of interested parties involvement and control. And then one drafted training to the entire team. Then displays physical display on the back of the car, in the board, whiteboard, the big board, the entry point, the exit points, available on website so that the interested party, statutory and regulatory boards can give their feedback. If they can see, then only they can give the feedback. If they not received by them by email communication or by another SAP ERP communication or by some other software internet facilities or by some other applications which are used on multiple ways in global this thing today. So they should be seen. When they are seen, they understand. If it is not convenient to them, they give comments, and then after modification it goes. Communication between the organization and all interested parties, whatever way we want to do it by physical, by mail, on the desktop, by writing on whiteboard, by writing in stored board at the entry point, sending mails to interested parties, showing them onto the websites. It may be available on website, but if you do not communicate to the supplier that yes, on a regulatory board, yes sir, our medical devices, A category, B category, C type of reagent, D type of blood bank, E types of heart valves, F type of, the knee transplantation, no shoulder transplantation, in vitro devices policy objective is available on our website into our introduction section, point C, bullet point 9, then only they will see. They will not have a dream to have the document displayed on the website, but where it is, it should be given a direction and indication to them so that they can review it, view it, and be a part of this movement of implementation of objective into the organization and then review and further improve upon. Once this happens, then we go for action plan. Without a effective and smart and well documented system, the action plan cannot be put into implementation. So implementation of the action as per the objectives and target is a very intricate part of our action plan for the implementation of the objectives and policy in support of that. And we keep on monitoring the process and plans as per objectives and targets. We have got a number of processes in our organization, whether we are into manufacturing or servicing or deliverables or into the storage or export activity or a food person doing export only going for gratification maybe at times under different conditions. So he should be monitored effectively so that the plan is going on in the desired direction. And at the same time, we have to keep on doing analysis of quality policy objectives implementation with respect to objective target chart. The analysis is a integral part. It gives us the direction whether we are going on positively or there are lags or we are spending 80% money but output is only 30-40%, not a good situation. Analysis of everything is very good. Then most of the organization will develop the charts, objectives so that the tracking can be done in a better and organized way. Then implementation is on. Means we are running the processes in various functions with respect to objectives and targets. In stores, in transportation, in servicing, into approval of the marketing professional sitting overseas. All these are different processes. We start from placing an order of a medical device in part to the transportation back into our company, receiving at the gate area, receiving at the incoming stores. All these functions are now in implementation done. Then we are continuously enhancing the effectiveness of objective targets implementation. We have to see that we keep on enhancing the effectiveness of the objectives and target implementation. And what happens then? 8 minutes. Update the data in policy and objective planning chart. So when we are enhancing the effectiveness of the objective data planning chart, we need to keep on updating the data. अरे वही क्या हो रहा है? Updating the data in policy and objective planning chart is a continuous process. If we do not update the data in charts, we do not know the direction. We sometimes go into the positive direction, sometimes less positive, sometimes more positive, sometimes less negative, sometimes more negative. So if teams are not updating the data in policy and objective planning chart, because this is the key to success. After 3 months of implementation, after 4 months of implementation, after 6 months, even after certification, recertification, how an organization will demonstrate to us unless they update the data in policy and objective planning chart. If that happens, then we know the direction and then we can take action. Again, the key is conduct the accurate and precise calculations after implementation. QA, QC calculations are very key activities of objectives because it is all a game of data and records analysis. So accurate calculation, precise calculation, not going by feelings and thoughts. Take out calculator, do a graphical presentation, understand how much is the rejection level because of this new part of a wall, because of the new rubber component, because of the new design of the IV cannula, or blood bag, or the related pipelines going to the machines and components and machine maintenance plant and so on. Then we look at the data, user, facts and figures, and we involve all. Unfortunately, we go for a lot of third-party audits and we see the facts and figures are not reviewed by involvement of all. Few people only will give feedback, few people only are involved. So that does not give an overall impression, it does not give overall improvement into the organization. That is not good for quality objectives for MBQMS. Again, the key to continual improvement involves a willingness to review objectives. We have seen many departments into a company who are very much active and willing to discuss with us. They on them will review before the management asks. However, there are few things who will prevent the growth also. We find some team members who will prevent the growth and success because they are not a willing horse. So management need to take actions. They need to modify them by training or modify by changing department or finally maybe fire them if they cannot change at all with respect to the real-time basis requirement. 6 months back, the design was different, the regulations were different. Today, globally, the MDQM requirements, legal requirements, regulatory requirements are changing very, very fast. Designs are updated very, very quickly. So, we need to review the process and practices accordingly on a regular basis. And we need to modify all those who are preventing this growth and process. So, we need to focus on positive staff, positive teams, and sometimes sideline the negative team. They may come back to mainframe at times. They may totally go out mainframe. It depends upon their own requirements and organizational need and decisions to be taken by the organization with respect to the effective implementation of quality objectives. So now the implementation is done. So what do we do now? Now comes the study. Now comes the study of the objectives, the targets in small groups and cross-functional teams. Many companies have got a very good small group functioning. They have a small group in store, small group in QC, small group in training, small group in design department. Also, they have the concept of cross-functional team clear. Design is involved, maintenance is involved, marketing is involved, regulatory team is involved. So they involve them effectively and then they study the objectives. They study the chart and with the support of what? They have a lot of data available. Now the document data was already available, but now for last 6 months we have got specialized, specific and target-oriented formats records available. So we can utilize different kinds of techniques to analyze the data, to analyze the data. Improve again, I say involve the team and then decide what went wrong in last 6 months, how much improvement has taken place. We have invested 100 rupees in a particular activity, the smallest amount. We have also invested $1,000 into a trolley mechanism system while assembly of a IV Canada. We have also invested $10,000 in developing a marketing export oriented team in Singapore. So, what are the results now? We know from here how much we have achieved out of it. If investment of 100 rupees has been done, has it gone into 10? Have we got 200 rupees out of it? We have spent 10,000 rupees. Have we got 11,000 in return? We have invested $10,000. Have we got $9,000 in return in last 6 months? And next 6 months will be the profit making because initially it's what will be the investment. Once all this is done, then we go for effective internal audit of objectives, target implementation by independent and trained and deemed competent team of internal auditors. Also, it is a requirement of ISO management standard. Nobody can do his own audit, so it is independent and trained auditors. Sometimes auditors are trained, but they are not qualified. So we always wish that trained and qualified auditors are used for conducting of internal audit by having a good internal audit schedule, by having a good internal audit plan, by having checklist prepared, by making plan of different auditors already who will conduct an audit for 3, 4, 5 days into different departments, and then what happens? They have got a file which has got some 50, 60, 70 paper, hard copy, soft copy, folder, SAP, software, whatever, an app, then they go for effective review in management review meeting. So far, what all we have discussed, whatever happens, is audited here in details for 3, 4 days, and results are discussed. The management meeting agenda is circulated in advance, not that today afternoon is the meeting and we start calling, come, 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 we will be meeting, come, 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 we will be meeting. So this come, come, come meeting is turned into a go, go, go meeting. Nothing is done, just come and go happens. So it is important that the coordinator, the MRs are circulating the agenda with fact and figures and with their team's involvement very in advance. And a meeting is conducted for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours depending upon how big is the organization and how big is the size of data and document they have. Small companies may do it in 2 hours. Very large organization, multi-site organization, they conduct it for day, 2 day, 3 day. If they have got thousands of people working, they have got 50 units across the globe. They do it for 3, 4 days also. For 1 week also the management meeting goes on. Then minutes are documented, they are circulated, and they are in going in for now further implementation and monitor the further actions and future plans. We are sorry to say that sometimes we go to organization, they have done well, but no tracking has been done. Last week only I was telling somebody, if the management review meeting, the last column does not have status as on date today, then what is the use? July 2022, you have conducted the meeting, but when I come for the audit, I would like to see their status as on 1st March. What has happened? 10%, 20%, 50%, how much money has been lost, how many appeals have come, how many complaints have come, how many customer concerns have been, how many regulatory reports were disturbed because of your activity. Disturbed means you have not taken care of their points. How many entries of the external, internal auditors have been taken care of. Once we do that, improvement is a natural process. Improvement comes automatically with the support of PDC and so on. So once all this happens, we need to further, or already we have got a trained team by TNV System Certification Private Limited under the approval of Example Global INC, where we conduct accredited training courses. We conduct almost 80 training courses. Out of that, MD QMS 1, 3, 4, and 5 internal auditor and external auditor lead course, auditor course of 40 hours is also there. Also, we conduct this certification under the approval of UAF, with the approval of IAF, under TNV Certification Private Limited. Our website is very much informative. You can look at our website and find a lot of information available there. Also, we have got TNV Academy, who is a partner for conducting these training courses. You can visit where we sell learning without limits. So this is all I thought I will discuss today. The objective, the documentation, the SMART objectives, the measurable objectives, the planning of the objectives, as per the requirement of the context of the organization, the source management system, the inspection and QC requirements, various categories of the devices, ABC categories, whatever critical, non-critical, in-plant devices. So we implement that, and then these are the results. The entire team becomes knowledgeable and they implement it as per the vision, mission and direction of the top management by involving the interested parties. And then planning is one of the most important thing. Drafting a documentation, objective target, provide training displays available on the site, SAPs, apps, communication, and then action plan is made for implementation, and then implementation is done throughout the organization from the customer requirement understanding to the customer feedback and attending to the customer complaint and so on. And then analysis and future action by studying document data, internal audit management review meeting, and then finally the certification. So the team who is attending, if they have any questions, we can discuss that. Thank you. Yes, please, any questions?
If the team has any questions, they can please ask from Mr. Ajay Bajpai. We have now come to the conclusion of this particular session. And in case if you do not have any questions as of now, so I would suggest that you can always place your questions in the comment section of this particular video, which will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. And we will be transferring those questions to Mr. Ajay Bajpai for the respective answers. We have now come to the conclusion of this particular session. I would say that the entire knowledge and the topics which were described by Mr. Ajay Bajpai on today's vulnerable topic, that is objectives of MDQMS ISO 13485 and how an organization should plan to achieve them, was very descriptive and knowledgeable for all of us. We have been really blessed by the knowledge which has been shared by Mr. Ajay Bajpai on this vast and complex topic of this complex ISO standards. I hope that you must have understood the terminology very well. I would again say that in case you have any queries or questions, you are always free to put them in the comment section of the video. Thank you for your participations. Thank you for giving time to be a participant in this particular webinar. I thank Mr. Ajay Bajpai from the bottom of my heart to be for accepting our invitation to be the guest speaker of today's webinar. Thank you so much for your time and efforts that you have shown in the successful completion of this particular webinar. See you soon, all of you, in an exciting new topic with an exciting new webinar. Till then, it's best wishes from TNB Academy.